Hey everyone, this is Deanna Dyer. I'm coming to you with a short video to kind of talk a little bit about kind of what I'm going after in 2020 and some of my recent journey with the Jesus Culture School of Leadership. It has been extremely impactful. Um, for a long time, it was just so much that I couldn't even really process it fully. But I'm coming to a place where I can really articulate some of the things that God is really doing in my heart and life and preparing me for a life of leadership in lots of different arenas. So I'm really excited. So, the one thing that I want to talk about, I want to talk about several things, but I wanted to share with you the word that I'm going after this year, which is authenticity. And authenticity and vulnerability and a lot of those words are kind of becoming the buzzword. And I think I understand why. Because in an age of social media where you have the opportunity to post all of your best highlights and not really talk about some of the hard things that you're going through if you don't want to, and in an age where we are very highly scheduled, we even have our kids and probably multiple things, and we just don't create space for relationship and community. It can be very isolating, and then we create an expectation that is not sustainable, that we're just all going to have great days every day because all we're posting is our highlight reel. And so I feel like God's really been talking to me about authenticity, especially as I take this journey towards my dreams, which is, a career in music and making that my vocation, and really to worship the Lord and to bring people into God's presence and write music and travel the world and all of that. God's been really talking to me about authenticity. And it's super hard for me because I'm kind of I'm going to say recovering perfectionist in every area of my life, even in my walk with God. It's like, the moment that I really began to understand the gospel, I realized that, I didn't have to beat myself up over being imperfect because my righteousness is based on Jesus. And it doesn't mean that I, want to live my life just any old kind of way. I just never will be that person. But no matter what, like, God is going to love me unconditionally, and He loves you too. And that is the truth. And so I think now I'm just becoming more brave about who I am, flaws and all, y'all. So if people are just really gonna love you and know who you are, you have to show them who you are. And that is what I am really going after for this year and for the rest of my life, really, that I would really be known and that people can really see that everyday people can love Jesus and live fantastic lives that are imperfect this side of heaven. And that's what I want to show, even in my journey as I'm going towards my dream. It's just, I'm just not perfect. I don't know everything. Some of the stuff that I'm doing on social media, I'm literally YouTubing how to figure it out, how to put the plugins on my blog, I'm learning, but I'm still gonna walk. I'm still gonna walk towards this thing. Does that make sense? So, anyway, a part of this journey, a huge part of this journey, and me just becoming not even just okay with myself, but like, yeah, I was made this way for a reason. Like, I have a God purpose. I mean, some of the things that, I might operate in my flesh, like I always want to grow. I want to always improve, but There's some things that like I don't need to fight because God made me this way, including this, y'all. I love me in all my forms and all my shapes. My hair is very versatile, so one day you might see it curly, one day you might see it blow dried, one day you might see it down to my waistline because that's pretty much where my hair reaches. But God made me just this way, and I'm supposed to lean in and just be so in love with what he did. Who am I to say that like God made a mistake on how he fashioned me? He makes no mistakes. So I'm just gonna stop buying into that lie, and I hope that you guys will too. Honestly, I pray that everyone within my realm of influence would start loving who God made them. That doesn't mean that you can't and shouldn't be growing. I am literally after this season of saying I want to grow and I want to get better, and I know that I am born to lead. But leaning into that yes and really going after that for myself. I've decided that I am going to grow for the rest of my life. That I will just never be satisfied with where I'm at. I will be happy with where I'm at. I will take joy in that. But I know that there's more. And I've said this many times to people who know me. And if you know me well, you've heard me say, I'm not going to leave anything on the table that God has for me. Not a thing. So, this has been so amazing for me. But in this process, like God has just been doing a lot of healing in my heart, reestablishing sort of my worth in Christ and my value. And even as I'm interacting in relationships, and I feel like a lot of people have a lot of pain and a lot of hurt associated with relationships that were broken with their family members, with friends. God is giving me tools on how to effectively communicate my needs to people and even deal with hard things, say hard things, but in love and in a loving way that actually isn't even off-putting. Like people are open to hear what you have to say with the tools that I'm gaining. Talks about we've been talking about a lot about brave communication by Dan Farley. He comes from Bethel, and who was it? Jesus. And I love this guy too so much. He's been such a blessing. Danny Silk. There you go. Talks about a lot of relationship things that have just been so healing, so healing. I'm applying the tools and I'm going back to family members and I'm going back to friends and I'm reestablishing connection with people. And I'm just like, wow, God, you're so good. And my life is becoming so rich. And I literally am called to share good news. So that's part of this journey, is to share what I'm learning along the way. So as it pertains to sort of like going after my dream, I decided in 2020 that anything that adds to my value as a person is worth the money, is worth the time, it's worth the effort. And so this dream that I have kind of like put on the sidelines for my life, you know, I honored my parents and, you know, going to college and getting the degree, and I went back and got another degree, another couple of degrees actually. And I am, you know, I'm pretty good at what I do currently. But my daughter just came in. See, I'm not gonna edit that, so I'm pretty good at what I do, but this has been a dream in my heart, and I'm like, this is the time. I'm going after it. As much time as I can put into it, as much money as I can put into it within my budget. I'm not, you know, gonna bankrupt my family after this. I don't need to do that. Like, God is opening doors and putting me on the hearts of people. I don't need to do all that. But I'm going to put in the work. And so as a part of that, I scheduled my first professional vocal lesson. So I was like, I've learned a lot of what I know about singing, I would say, on the job. My mom taught me how to harmonize when I was very young. So thanks, Mom. So she taught me that. I've sung in choirs, I've been on worship teams, so I have a lot of experience, but I don't necessarily know necessarily like the technical things that might help me. So I scheduled a professional vocal lesson, and she's teaching me all about posture and be able to get my fullest breath from my diaphragm and belt out those notes with less vocal wear on my vocal cords. And so I'm really excited about what God's doing with that. I am also just committed to doing things that bring me joy. So calendaring things like working on my songs. I had started so many songs that I think I was in a place where I was just not valuing how God brought music out of my heart. And I'm not supposed to sound like anybody but me. And so I am honoring the gift that God has given me, and I'm finishing those songs. I just finished a song. I sent it to one of the musicians that I work with. I'm going to be putting the music to the song and hopefully posting that video before the end of this month. So I'm really excited just to put out my original music. And just be brave about it and put myself out there, and knowing that, I'm open to criticism, but I'm also open to love. And so I am just walking towards the dream that God has put in my heart. And I'm in a super teachable place in my life right now, but I'm also just very confident in who I am as a daughter of God. And I'm not going to just receive just anything from any old body. If I've told you that I've put you in a position of influence in my life, then just know that is not given to everyone. Because I know not everyone is for me. I know not everyone believes in, my calling, my vision. And so I'm surrounding myself with people who are going to uplift me and support me. And I want to do the same for them and pour into their lives. And so, that's just where I am. So I just wanted to give you an update. I will talk a little bit more about some of the tools that I'm getting in the Jesus Culture School of Leadership, and some of the things that I'm learning, and putting some book recommendations out there. If you're serious about leadership, if you feel like you have a call on your life, and most of us who are Christians, we do believe that we're called to something great. And I am just blown away by the amount of resources that are available to us that I wasn't aware of before. And so I'm just really thankful. I'm thankful for you who have continued to put up with me as my sort of like hit or miss posts. I've committed to posting a blog post every 2 weeks, even if it doesn't have a video, and just keep you updated. But I just want to say thank you to those of you who have just believed in me throughout my journey, my career, even with music. I love you guys. I am doing this for me because God loves me and He's called me, but I also know that my gift is for the world. And so I'm also doing it for you as well. And I'm doing it for my husband and my kids and just everyone that has ever looked up to me in any way. I just want to encourage you, don't give up on the dreams that God has given you. I don't care how unrealistic they may seem to other people. If you don't have a God-sized dream that requires God to get you there, you're not thinking big enough. And I promise you, my dreams are super uber big. So it's going to be a God thing. But I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to put my feet to the ground and walk a little every day until I am walking in my dream, and then I will have another dream that I'll be walking towards. So this is going to be until Jesus calls me home. I'm going to be walking. So love you guys. I will talk to you soon.